Welcome to Austin, Texas. We're here live at the DataCloud Congress USA, and we've got the young talent in tech over here. Thank you guys for taking the time and making the investment of coming out here and give us an opportunity to potentially expose the industry to you. Could you guys quickly introduce yourself?
My name's Stephen Baker. I'm with the University of Texas at Arlington, senior mechanical engineering. Happy to be here.
I'm Colby Cruz. I am also a senior mechanical engineering major at the University of Texas at Arlington.
I'm Kyle Booth. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major at the University of Texas at Arlington with a focus in nuclear engineering as well.
Hi, my name is Ethan Rozak. I'm a copycat of Kyle, same nuclear interests, and happy to be here.
My name is Valeriya, and I'm a year into the industry as an energy engineer at North Shore. My name is Ashley Haghighi. I am a mechanical engineering major at the University of Texas at Arlington with a minor in nuclear.
Did you know about the data center space before you got here?
No, I really didn't. I was offered an opportunity to come to this conference by Dr. Aganifer from UTA. As a senior graduating, it's really been enlightening to see this industry that I didn't even know was existent.
Well, that seems to be a common theme here. So now you guys are involved in data center from an exposure perspective. With the limited knowledge that you've given and the exposure that you've given, is it something that you seriously want to pursue?
Yes, I do think there's a lot of really cool applications. I'm really interested in fluid and thermal sciences. I'd like to work in the nuclear space. Seeing the massive increase in power demand makes me hopeful for the future of the nuclear sector. And that's something I hope to be a part of.
Data infrastructure is not necessarily just about data science. That's a part of the entire information technology sector. So the cool thing about this industry is that we are the youngest industry, less than 4 decades of being alive. However, we are the core of everything. You pick up any other industry around us, they are reliant on the information technology sector. And the coolest thing about the space is that we've got all these sub verticals within it. So you can be a nuclear scientist, mechanical engineer, you can be electrical engineer, you can be into coding, into cybersecurity, into marketing, sales, real estate, brokerage. The list goes on and on and on. And even though you might want to go try something else, there's always room over here for you because we want to encourage you guys to bring experience from other industries. Nuclear is actually a major issue that needs to be addressed. So you guys from an educational perspective know what needs to be done. But the reason why it's not getting done is because of the lobbyists and the politics and influences out there that say that nuclear is bad. So you bring your expertise, you bring your education to the forefront, and we can start bridging these gaps.
To answer your question about whether it's an industry that I'm considering, after being exposed here at this conference, it's something I would consider very seriously. It seems here people are really motivated because the appetite for the ability to store data is growing exponentially, and it's only going to continue to increase now with AI. So yeah, it's something I very seriously consider, given the right opportunity.
How about you, Colby?
So one of the biggest things that I've learned from being around here and watching all the panels and speaking to everyone is that one, this is possibly one of the fastest growing industries that's out there that so many people don't know about. And two, there are tons of problems that still need to be solved. We have the power generation problems. We have the thermal management solutions. We have the automation and equipment testing, even the land development and land acquisition problems. So for a young engineer like myself, what more could you ask for? Fast growing and problems to be solved. So absolutely, this is an industry that I would love to continue to learn more about and to potentially join myself.
Wonderful.
I came into this conference with a little bit of exposure with data center technology because I just became an undergraduate researcher, Dr. Aganifer, who does some really good work on the thermal logistics of electronic packaging, data centers, and then he's been doing some work on immersion cooling solutions. So I've been really interested to kind of hear everybody's opinions on like thermal solutions for data center technologies. And I've come out with a lot more knowledge on things like people building independent power infrastructure for data centers. And those types of problems are what really interests me. And it was really interesting to be able to draw connections from what I've learned in school and see how that applies to something I didn't even know about really coming into this. So it's been a really neat opportunity to come here and meet industry professionals and learn a little bit more about it.
We want to learn from you guys as much as we want to share what this industry is about. But you guys are digital natives. We had to build this from ground zero. We don't want to tell you what to do. We want it to be collaboration and understanding what your needs are. And you guys understand it a lot better than we do because you're growing with this versus us making it happen. We made a lot of mistakes. For some reason, automatically it's been working fine. So when you guys are thinking about this, think it with open mind that you are as important to the sector and your knowledge and your contribution is as important as people that have been doing it for 20, 30 years.
I was actually going to mention from this conference and other conferences I've been to, the collaboration and the willingness to work together. It doesn't feel as competitive of an industry as like some other jobs where I've been at. Like everybody really does want everybody else to succeed. And maybe because it is a newer industry and it's growing so fast, everybody holds it so near and dear to their hearts and wants to see improvement and success, and really excited about all the opportunities in the industry. And I feel like every time I talk to somebody, I find out like, oh, there's a position for that, or there's a need for this. And you don't have to just be by the books, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. There's business needs, real estate needs, all sorts of needs in this industry to be met. And there's so many opportunities for sustainability, and it's developing so fast. So having all these new ideas can actually be incorporated and moved along and make significant change. Even as a young person, being able to talk to people, I guess, in control and empowered is just like empowering in itself. And they really do listen to you. So some key takeaways from this conference that I've had, not like any industry that I've been in before. I mean, we worked with a defense contractor and it was a very different kind of environment. Everyone here wants to just share their knowledge. Keynote panel from yesterday had 121 years of experience on stage. And it's incredible that we're able to go and speak to them and just learn from them. And that's what they're here for. They want to pass on their knowledge to the new generation. It's inspiring. There's not many times you can go up to a CEO or founder of a company and just strike up conversation about something that I never knew about 2 weeks ago. This is my exposure into the data center industry, and I had no idea the need for it. I did not realize the expanse of it, the amount of power it requires, the issues that they are facing currently. And having a focus in energy generation, that's kind of what I want to do. And I just realized the capabilities in data centers where we can produce that kind of power. So I really want to find a solution that works to make the data center industry function as best it can. It definitely is a need, and we cannot function without it nowadays.
What can we do as a sector and as leaders in the space to entice more of you guys and the next generation to be a part of this sector, to help us with evolution? What can we learn from you guys, and what do you guys need from us to encourage you, entice you, and welcome to you in our space?
I can wholeheartedly say it's the exposure. So I did not know anything about the data center industry for this. And the only reason I am able to be here is because Dr. Agnopher made sure that we were aware of data centers because he's an advocate for it. So just exposure to the university on the undergraduate level in particular, because getting in early and just letting them know their opportunities within this industry, I think is the biggest proponent into spreading awareness about the need for younger generation in the data industry. I spoke with someone yesterday about potentially even establishing an extracurricular organization or an additional class that can be implemented into the curriculum just to make awareness about the IT world as well as data centers, because it is huge and exposure is what's needed for the next generation to come into the data center industry. I love this topic and I'm so passionate about getting people into this industry because I just didn't know about the opportunities. I knew that mechanical engineering is a broad topic. You can really go into anything. I knew I didn't want to go into defense. I knew what I didn't want, but I didn't know what I did want. I honestly think you guys need to have PR at like the high school, middle school level. There's organizations like Girls Start and Vex Robotics and other after school extracurriculars for younger students to get exposure to different engineering and STEM careers. But I don't know why data centers have never come across, even though it's such a huge industry.
Well, we're trying to make an effort at the Nomad Futures Foundation, so I believe that's probably a little bit of a starting point.
People don't think it's a sexy industry, but it is mission critical and people need it. And if it goes down, you're like watching Netflix.
I think you guys are on the right track. Seeing you guys reach out and bring us out of our shell and into this industry is amazing. And I'm so fortunate to be a part of it. I feel shocked that no other industry tries to recruit talent like you guys. And again, the scale of this event with all the executives and everything is another extremely humbling experience. It's amazing what you guys do. If I was to give a pointer or something that I would recommend in order to raise awareness, I know a couple things like relationships with professors. One of my early engineering classes had guest speakers from industry come in to just show you what you can do with your degree. And I feel like something like that, at the very least, planting the seeds early on in college when people are getting a better idea of what they want to do. I think you'll have your most success planting those seeds in college and trying to recruit internships and then taking those on full time.
Speaking as a mechanical engineering student, whenever I came down here, I thought we were going to be odd ducks because you hear data cloud, you hear data science, and that's not really what we're doing here. We're talking infrastructure, really. And we're talking about part of this infrastructure requires thermal systems, which are the bread and butter of mechanical engineering students, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like a great way to improve would be to communicate that we're talking about physical things rather than digital things, right?
You guys make
Yeah.
a great point, right? The industry is so intertwined and you can't do one without another. If you don't have the correct thermal management deployed, then the rest is useless. If a rack coughs at 150 kilowatts and that goes down, it doesn't really matter how much compute capacity you have there because that's going to be dissipated within a matter of seconds. So I think we just need to get better at marketing and simplifying the complexities that we have created as a sector.
And it's a broad field. It's not focused solely on computer science engineers or people who specialize in IT. There's lots of things which are applicable for mechanical engineers that I wasn't aware of. So communicating that initially, I think would be very helpful.
Exposure, exposure, exposure. It seems like the biggest barrier to entry in this field is knowing that it exists, right? So at all levels, like they've been saying, I think that's would be one of the biggest things for us. Speaking as a mechanical engineer, the big three industries that everyone knows from the start is automotive, defense, and HVAC. Why not include or start to make the status quo being data centers or this industry itself as one of the big companies like Google or tech companies have hackathons or research competitions? Why not have something like that for a data situation? I'm sure there are plenty of creative people in this industry that can come up with something that is mutually beneficial to their company, to the industry as a whole, and to students who possibly learn more about the industry and get into it.
In my high school, there was a technical program to get like a CCNA certification for network infrastructure. I know that Nomad Futurist, they're looking to do some programs where you can get some really good information. I think you guys would have a lot of benefit reaching out to community college technical program, high school technical programs, or technical schools, and maybe talk to Google or some other companies with a really big necessity for data center professionals and start having classes at that level early on, giving people the opportunity in high school or at a community college because there's going to be more exposure there.
I am so grateful and so thankful for you guys taking the time and joining me today and sharing your experience and what we should be doing. What you guys said actually hits the home run. So we all have to believe that it's about exposure, education, experiences, and opportunity. And we've got to start at a very young age. So K through 12, higher education, and people in transition. It's really the focus of our foundation and the academy. Please be our advocates and spread the word about how cool this industry is and how many opportunities we have.
I assume that everybody kind of had a good time and had fun. I'm going to sit right here so that I just cuddle. Because you guys know that I'm a bit of a...
I'm going to leave. He's got it under control.
I wanted to say thanks for attending and thanks for being part of this. We really look forward to you being the next generation of this endeavor and making this industry exciting and fun, but mostly intelligent, because we need smart people with a different perspective than the old guys like us. No, Nabeel's not an old guy. He's still a spring chicken, but we've got experts in the industry, Phill Lawson-Shanks, Kleyman. I fit in your bucket. I am the 1.5 year data center employee. I didn't do this before I came here. I've got an English degree. I have an acting degree. I didn't come into this industry with any level of expertise and experience other than what I brought in my own pocket. I had fluid power experience. I had industrial automation experience, but I did not have data center experience. So this industry will be what you make it, how you make it. And we're really excited to have good, strong people who obviously can acclimate and get along with crazy people here. And you're the talk of the event. So we really appreciate you. Look forward to you all being colleagues in the future.
I'm going to come in here. I'm not going to sit on his lap, though. I'm going to take this chair right here.
Lap. I'm next to
And it's been a pleasure to have a chat with at least all of you and be able to sit at a table and learn a little bit more about you. I'm really excited for you to potentially, whether you enter this industry or not, you know about us. You know what we do. You know that we're the foundation for pretty much everything that you play and touch and work with. It's got a 1 or a 0. But I think the fascinating part is the opportunities that you have as people coming in this industry. The one piece of recommendation that I have as engineers, as people who are really, really strong-minded in terms of how things operate and work, get a business degree if you can, or like a business acumen. Oh my gosh, it helps you understand the language of business. And when you become multi-skilled operators, people who aren't just technical individuals, but understand business acumen, you become so invaluable because all of a sudden you can take these really complex topics and explain them to business people that can understand how you can monetize these solutions. Those types of mechanical mechanical, electrical, computer engineers do extraordinary things in this industry. Nothing wrong with focusing on what you love, but being able to explain really complex things to people is really, really important. But the most important thing amongst all this is that you now have contacts in this industry. And everybody listening out there as well, don't be shy. Feel free to reach out. So I expect LinkedIn invites from all of you. If you haven't done so already, some of you have. Good job. And then use that as your living resume. Now, when I'm hiring young people, I'm going to Google you, right? And I'm going to do some research and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see what your LinkedIn profile is. But just know that this industry is full of potential. You can do so many different kinds of things. We are way more than big buildings and blinking lights. We've got data centers on a barge in the water. We've got them underwater. Just excited to have you be a part of this industry and just learn and grow with us. I mean, it's going to be really cool.